the Nightman, leader, rank 7 for Medieval Militia. Just wanted to reach out to a bunch of you guys. I'm going to post this on the Facebook group, and I just want to talk today about character development. And I'm going to title this video Level 70 What Now? Because as a leader, I know that I get a bunch of people coming to me and they hit level 70 and they have no idea what they do because there's just so much going on. There's so many options, and it can be really difficult to navigate if you don't have somebody pointing you in the right direction. So that's why I'm here, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We will start off first and foremost with the campaigns. When you hit level 70, there is a lot going on. All of these things, you're still hopefully working on. You're probably still working on Elemental Evil. The Maze Engine's still happening. You've got a lot going on. Sharndar opens up at level 64. Here are my suggestions. Elemental Evil is your top priority. Tyranny of Dragons, when you hit level 70, you're going to start working on that right away as well because it takes so long. I recommend breaking everything up into groups. The Maze Engine takes forever, but really it's a very little chunk out of each day that you got to dedicate to it. I recommend Maze Engine, Elemental Evil, and the first part of Tyranny be done together, and that is your first grind. Once you get through that, I highly recommend doing Sharndar or Sharandar, I never know how to pronounce it properly, Dreadring, and then the Underdark together. Because the Underdark basically can be done just by doing the Dreadring anyways. And then Sharandar is done kind of on its own. And then you can also kind of do a little bit of the Well of Dragons, which is the second part of Tyranny of Dragons as well. You can incorporate that in. So it's almost like 3 things at a time. The Underdark barely counts because you're just basically loading the Pharazers or whatever they're called. And so Maze Engine, Elemental Evil, first part of Tyranny, that's your first grind. Once you get through that, Sharandar, Underdark, second part of Tyranny, and Dreadring. After that, you can work on Icewind Dale, and you can start the Cloaked Ascendancy, I would say. And I would recommend doing the Cloaked Ascendancy and Storm King Thunder together. I'm trying to remember if you need to have Icewind Dale done in order to get to Storm King Thunder. I think you might. But I honestly don't remember. It's been so long. You must have 10. Yeah, I can't remember, to be honest. It's been too long. But I recommend doing Storm King's Thunder and Cloak Ascendancy together. Icewind Dale can be done while you're doing the Underdark and Sharandar and all that stuff. It can be done together with that. It just becomes a lot of grinding. If you can do it, power to you. Just remember to give yourself some breaks because every day it can get pretty tiresome. Make sure you're doing the weeklies in all of these because that's it's a little bit of investment for a lot of gain. The weeklies, you gotta make sure you do them. You miss the weekly, and you're missing out big time in all of these campaigns. But that's my general guide to powering through these things. Break them up, grind them. Make sure it's the first thing you do when you log on, because then things that have come up, dungeons, whatever, your friends get online, you're not going to put these things on the back burner. You're going to have them done already, and then that's when you can start enjoying the game. That's my general advice to grinding the campaigns. Any questions, by all means, send me a message. The next thing we're going to talk about is character development and how to exponentially make your character better as quickly as possible. First thing I'm going to say is that your item level does not matter. Stop thinking about your item level. Your item level is useless. Your item level doesn't kill bosses. Too many people go through this game and they're worried about getting their item level up. Your item level is literally irrelevant to the game, other than it gets you into dungeons. But because you can get into dungeons with lower item levels now in private groups, it really doesn't matter. And you don't want to be going to these dungeons when you're not ready anyways, because it's no fun. What you need to focus on is everything over here. This is what you need to focus on, your stats. Your stats are what make you better. So when you see a piece of gear that says it's recommended for you, but you're sitting there thinking like, but why? It looks like it lowers all my stats. It's because it only takes into account the item level. The item level might be higher, but it's terrible gear for you. That's why you have guys running around with lower item levels and they're out DPSing higher item level players. They're making the conscious choice to focus on their stats and not their item level, which makes them stronger. So that's the first thing. So when you're looking at your gear, you got to make sure you're picking gear based on what's good for you, not what's good for your item level. The next thing we're going to talk about is your top priority. When you hit level 70, in terms of developing your character, the first thing you need to do is get a proper companion that is going to be able to proc Companion's Gift with Bonding Runestones. Once you have the companion, the number one focus that you want to be on is getting your bondings to rank 12. Double refinement is coming up in about just less than 2 weeks, and the number one thing you can do is get your bondings to rank 12. This is the absolute minimum to be considering endgame, an endgame tune. Bondings to rank 12 is the best way to improve your character, hands down, no discussion. Once you have rank 12, or once you have them at least to a rank 10, you want to properly gear your companion and make sure you have good, proper enchantments on the gear. Now I just switched my enchantments around because I've kind of changed the way that I've built my character on this, and I've changed kind of my philosophy. So my Silveries and my Azures are not ranked up yet, but they will become the next double refinement. The reason these are so important is because each one gives 95% of their stats for 20 seconds. And as long as you know how to properly proc this, that will be basically 100% uptime. So that means 285% of all these stats are applied to your character. That's a lot. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you. I'm going to put this character away. He's gone. We're going to go over to the dummies. So we look at my stats. We've already looked at them a little bit. The 34.5k power, just about 6k crit, 9.6k recovery, and 12.5k defense. We'll talk about those stats, and we can actually even talk about deflect, and I don't think I have any deflect stacked on my companion anyway, so that shouldn't matter. But we saw those numbers. You know, I do my attacks. I got Forge Master Flame on there now, you know. Now, I've done that. So now my power is up to 53. That's from Anointed Army and my power sharing. It's going to drop down in like 2 seconds. There you go. So my stats don't really move while I'm attacking. You know, we want our stats to be the best they can because that's where we're getting our damage from, not our item level. So I go back and I'm going to resummon my companion. All I got to do is I'm just going to attack him once. Now my companion's attacking. I'm going to go up to my status bar. We just procced Companion's Gift. Now as you can, we'll watch it here for a second. It's continuously proccing. So it gets down to about 18, 19 seconds and it procs again. It's always up. Now if my companion dies, I'm obviously going to lose Companion's Gift. That's why it's important to try and keep your companion alive as well. But we're going to go and we're going to look at my stats now. 57,000 power. 9.9k crit, 17,000.4 recovery, 22,000 defense. That's a significant increase from where they were before. We're talking about 8k give or take recovery. We're talking about 10k defense, about 3 point, I think it was like about 3 to 4k critical strike, and 22,000 power, all from the bonding runestones. That is why it's so important that you do the things you need to do in order to get those bondings up to rank 12. So important. If you guys have any questions, by all means, ask any of the officers, rank 5 and above in Medieval Militia, and we will help explain to you how we can get these bondings up. This should be everyone's main focus for the next double refinement. The other thing we're going to talk about is mount insignias, and I'm just going to quickly touch on this. You need to be doing proper mount insignias to get the proper bonuses that are going to help your characters. There is a couple of them that are so critical that they're game changers. Assassin's Covenant is one of them. You're going to take... I stacked defense, deflection, and lifesteal. Mostly defense. You saw it. It went up to 22,000 on my character. Solely because I'm going to take 12% of it and I'm going to turn it into power. That is huge. I have Assassin's Covenant in twice. The thing you need to realize about that is that if you stack it more than once, you lose a huge amount of the second one. So if I didn't have this, Assassin's Covenant would be worth 10% of my power. I would get 10% of those skills turned into power. But because I've added a second one, I get an extra 2%. To me, it's worth it. I've made that decision. Protector's Camaraderie. It's another good power buff. I get 3% of my power and defense for 10 seconds. It can stack up to 4 times. To me, that's very important. Artificer's Persuasion. This is critical for a divine or for an anointed champion cleric who really focuses on popping artifact powers a lot. My recovery, movement, action point gain, and stamina gain are increased 10% of my power, which is right now with my companion's gift going is 5,700, almost 5,800 of all those skills or all those stats. So I'm getting nearly 6k in 4 different stats. How awesome is that? And then Gladiator's Guiles, when I run, it's a choice. It's because my character's really slow. I don't stack movement on anything, so it gives me 15% more movement, or more. I move 15% more fast. But really, that's a choice. There's other ones you can run in there. There is, I'm trying to remember the name of them. I think one of them is something Friendship, Protector's Friendship, or something like that, which is another good buff for power, I believe. There's a whole bunch. If you go through here and you look through the ones you have available to you, there's a lot that can really help you. Another really good one is Wanderer's Fortune. If you're looking to build up your character, it can help build you up refinement stones. This is also another good one. If you're a tank, especially, this is a good one, as it will help you build up those critical skills for you. Yeah, just take a look. There's a whole bunch of them that are really good. Protector's Friendship. This is the one I was talking about. You gain 1% of your power and defense for 10 seconds. And it can stack up to 4 times. This is a pretty good one, and it only takes 2 insignias, which means there's a lot of things that can run Protector's Friendship that you can get for fairly cheap. Same with Assassin's Covenant. If you get the Aberrant Fey Wolf, it costs 50k right now in the trade house. I checked. You can get Assassin's Covenant. There's a lot of ways that you can figure out how to get these things. This is another good one. Artificer's Influence. It's relatively cheap. And you're going to get a lot out of it. So anyways, just do the research. If you go to the Neverwinter Wikipedia, you can find the list. You can Google, or you can basically search the mount insignia bonus, and it'll list all the mounts that carry that possibility. So that pretty much sums up what I wanted to talk about. My main, if I could drive anything home, my main thing is that you need to focus on your bonding runestones and properly setting up your companion. It is the most important thing you will do ever for character development. After that, your next priority is grinding out the campaigns so that you can get the boons. The boons are so critical to building your character up that you've got to put the time in. I know it. I know it's a grind. It takes a lot of patience, but that's where you get better. That's how you build your character up, and then that is how you get yourself end game and you start running all the dungeons, getting all the good gear, and having all the fun. So we here at Medieval Militia, we're so appreciative of everybody in the guild and the development that's been going on, building up the guild hall and unlocking new boons and stuff like that. We're so appreciative of everybody putting in the effort. And we also want to express to you guys how important it is for us that you guys are developing. Because the stronger that everybody gets in our guild, the stronger our guild gets. And that's very important to us. So if anybody has any questions, by all means, send me a message on PSN. My PSN is the Nightman. You can see it up here. It's THA_Nightman. And I will try and help you out the best I can. And if you see any other rank 5 and above officers online and you need help, by all means reach out to them. They're going to help you just as much as I can. So that's all for today, guys. Good luck, and I wish you all the best for double refinement. Take care.